From your perspective, what makes Chicago basketball players different from anywhere else in the country?
The Chicago, we tough. You know, Chicago, being from Chicago, I think we have that edge, and that's why we have so many pros come from Chicago. Is that we got that street edge. That street edge is I'm tougher. I'm better than everybody. I'm tougher than everybody. You know, and I think that's the edge we have. I think nowadays it's kind of frustrating me a little bit when a lot of kids opt to go high school in other cities, because I think when they do that, you lose that toughness, you lose that edge. Not to say you can't keep it, because Chicago gonna always be inside of you forever.
Most definitely.
But I just think that you know, Chicago, we unique. You know, we the mecca of basketball, and I just think that as long as you got that edge, you always gonna make it. And we got a lot of players to follow that lead to see, you know, when you say like Isaiah Thomas from the west side of Chicago, Mark Aguirre, west side of Chicago, tough neighborhoods. When you talk about Derrick Rose, Antoine Walker, you know, south side of Chicago, tough. You know, Tim Hardaway, you know, tough, you know. When the list go on and on and on up to Ayo Dosunmu, Taylor Horton Tucker, and the rest of the guys, Terrence Shannon, the rest of the guys, everybody's just tough. They got a chip on their shoulder. So I tell kids, whenever you leave Chicago, make sure you take that chip with you, because that's the chip that's going to get you over the hump.
You think they need to stay in Chicago so they can compete like steel sharpens steel? Because you're competing against that tough mindset.
You competing against that tough mindset. And I tell everybody this, like when you playing basketball in Chicago, even if you playing in public league, they don't care who you are. They going at you. You can go head to head with anybody. And even the Catholic League is getting like that now. Like they don't care who you are. They trying to kill you every night. You know, when you out of town, some people know who you are. They kind of cold. Chicago, we don't care. You know,
you the big man with the big name. We own you. We own you.
Yeah, we own you.
You gonna show me?
Yeah, we coming after you, and that's what I love about Chicago. You know, you don't need a name.
What era do you think is the toughest in Chicago basketball?
The era, the toughest era. I just think the 80s and the 90s was just, it's just tough because when you know, we coming up, it wasn't no telephones, it wasn't no TVs. It's like everybody out in the street grinding, figuring it out. The streets are tough, all that was going on outside there. The work life is tough. So now the basketball courts, because it's tough because you had the blacktop. You got to go outside and play, you know. You got to get it done outside. So, you know, then you go inside the gym. So that era was just tough where you just lace up your sneakers and there wasn't no social media. You going to play against everybody and anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. And it wasn't so ticky-tacky as it is now. Cats would just straight out brawl on the court. And get back to it.
And the 90s, I mean, it produced so many players. When you start talking about Juwan Howard, Antoine Walker, Mike Finley, Sherelle Ford, you had, I mean, you had the three of them. It's so many. It's for me, I'm missing, you know, name after name after name. But I mean, the 90s just produced so many players.
About the ones who didn't make it, like Paul McPherson.
Oh yeah, Paul McPherson. Actually, who made it for me?
He made it for a minute.
Yeah, Paul.
He was playing for Phoenix.
Paul made it for a minute. He was up there in Phoenix for a minute, and he was unreal. You know, but when you start talking about the ones like Amari Sawyer who didn't make it, Amari Sawyer is probably one of the best point guards ever to come out of Chicago. He didn't make it, but then you go to the 80s. You say Brian Leach. You know, you start getting names like that who didn't make it, but the 90s.
And Kevin Garnett partner before he broke his neck.
Oh, Ronnie Fields. Ronnie Fields, man.
Born Young's out of